Hello everyone, welcome to a new video on my YouTube channel, and in this video I am kind of excited because I will talk about a trip to Maldives which I recently made in the first week of August. And while I was posting on my Instagram stories, which is linked over here, a lot of you all asked me on my DMs around the budget and the finances and how you guys can also plan. So I have all the details up on my laptop over here with the budget, everything, and whether I overspent or underspent or it was just at par with my budget. Everything I will share with you because I really want you guys also to plan the trip just the way I planned. Also, one more thing I want to share, it's a bit personal thing. For me, Maldives was something which was kind of out of my league. At least for me it was. I never thought that ever in my life, at least not before my 40s, I would go to a place like Maldives because it's supposed to be like a luxury destination. But I took the decision that, if I plan my finances really well and if I start saving and investing specifically for this particular trip, maybe it is possible. And guess what? I actually, approximately 6 months back, I specifically made a liquid fund in the form of a mutual fund for this particular travel to Maldives, and I kept savings, and tada, it actually happened. So let's begin now around all the money, all the finances, all the travel to Maldives. Hello and namaste, my name is Anamika Rana and I am an accountant. In this video, I will break this entire video into subparts. First, I'll tell you about why Maldives. Second, I'll tell about the most important part, which is the COVID protocols that we need to follow as responsible travelers. Then I'll talk about the travel part, that is to and fro. Then the accommodation part, that is where I stayed, how much I spent in the staying, the food, the activities, and towards the end, the overall budget and whether I went over or under budget. So let's begin the first part. So why I chose Maldives is that because considering the COVID phase is still kind of continuing and the phase 3 is supposed to be coming soon, I hope not, but it's there in the news at least. Maldives is the only, I would say, one of those rare international destinations which was kind of open for tourists. And second thing is that Maldives is currently also being used as stopping point or as a transit point in case you want to go, suppose say from India to UAE or Europe or something like that. So a lot of people were actually going to Maldives for this reason also, that in case you want to further travel to some other country, then a minimum of 14 days is what you have to spend in Maldives, get your RT-PCR test done, and then only you can travel further. But I was in the first category where I was looking for some kind of destination international, and Maldives was the only thing which was kind of making sense to me. I could have traveled to India, but the problem is that the time when I was planning my travel, actually there was too much of crowd around the north hill stations in India, around the Himachal and all. So I thought कि चलो यार, maybe India ना जाकर आज कुछ इस बार कुछ अलग experiment करते हैं and let's go to Maldives as well. So that's how this trip kind of got planned. It was not very much in advance, so even the numbers I will be sharing are a little bit overspent kind of numbers. But if you plan the trip well in advance, suppose like if you want to plan the trip, suppose say 3 months or 4 months down the line, I think you will be able to save a lot more than what I did. Okay, that's the first thing. And of course, like I said earlier also, Maldives was on my bucket list for a very long time and I had been saving for this particular trip. So that is why Maldives happened. Second thing I want to cover up is now the COVID protocols. Okay, now considering that at this point of time, too much of international travel is not open, it is first of all mandatory for you to get a negative RT-PCR test done. Okay, because that is the one most important thing they will be testing. Even before that, it is important for you to get vaccinated. I am still not sure whether it was 1 dose or 2 dose, but I personally made sure that I am double dose vaccinated and then only I can travel to any other place for that matter. So vaccination is again a mandatory thing. Although later on when I came back from Maldives, I saw there were some people who were not even like a single dose having the vaccination and still they were traveling. Maybe there were some exceptional cases, but I think it is a kind of mandate to be vaccinated, and RT-PCR is of course a mandatory thing. So that is the two things. Also, if you ask me, Anamika, that around the COVID time, is Maldives a safe option to travel or not? I'll tell you why it is safe or not safe. First, it's an island. It is completely secluded. Okay, to go from the island to the main part of Maldives, you will have to travel for almost like 40-45 minutes, which I'm sure you guys don't want to. So which is the reason why it was kind of safe, because it was secluded. Second, it's all in the open, right? So there was automatic social distancing being maintained. And third thing is that in Maldives itself, everybody who was coming to Maldives was at least RT-PCR negative tested. Okay, so for these few reasons in mind, I think Maldives is definitely a safe place to travel. Also, I personally asked the staff members and all of them were double dose vaccinated. So I think it is a safe place to travel, at least as compared to any other parts of India where people are just traveling without having the precautions in place. So that's about the COVID protocols. Now let's move ahead towards the documents needed. Okay, so before you guys plan for a trip to Maldives, either solo trip or with friends or with your family members, make sure all of the people who are traveling have to have these following documents. First is of course your passport, because you can't travel otherwise internationally. Second is of course your flight tickets to and fro, like towards the place you want to travel and back from there as well. Accommodation in whichever hotel you are staying or resort you are staying. Negative RT-PCR test report, which is very, very important. And by the way, they will check the scan code. So a lot of people I've heard randomly doing this kind of scam, of just kind of making a fake report, but at the airport they are very, very strict about it, and they can actually send you back home if your report is kind of fake. So make sure it's a genuine test report done, and it is kind of valid for 72 to 96 hours. Then you have to have your vaccination certificate, and last you have to have a health declaration form, for which I'll leave the link in the description box below also, so you can have a look at what are the details they will ask you for. So that's about the documentation part, the COVID part. Now let's come to the more interesting part, which is the air travel. So of course I am in Bangalore right now, so I took a flight from here to Malé, and the flights were kind of reasonable, I would say. The round trip from Bangalore to Malé and the other way around also costed me around 20,000 rupees. Yeah, approximately. It can again depend on the flight you are taking and how much time in advance you have booked the flight, but for a single person it's approximately anywhere between 15 to 20,000 rupees, like two-way. So that's the travel part. Now once you land at the Maldives, at the Malé airport, there are transports, different form of transport to take you from the airport towards the island that you are going to stay at. So there are majorly two which I personally saw over there. Is that one is the Skyplane, okay, and the second one is the speedboat. So depending on the resort, they usually suggest which is the better transport to take. So we took the speedboat, and it was kind of expensive. It was approximately $900, but for two people. So me and my husband, both of us had gone. So $900 approximately, if you calculate keeping 70 as the exchange rate, although it is not, it's approximately 63,000 approximately. So split by two, that is a per person cost. That's the travel part, that is the total to and fro and back. And this speedboat thing is, by the way, from the airport towards the island and even on the returning part as well. Okay, so that's about the travel part. Now moving ahead to the accommodation part. Now accommodation is kind of interesting over here, because so we stayed in this resort called Sun Siam Resort. It's a chain of resorts, and the island we were staying at is Oru Valley. Please ignore the pronunciation, but it's something like that. It's Oru Valley actually, yeah. So in that island they had so many type of villas, but majorly there were two kind of villas. One was the normal beach villa. In that you have two categories, that with the private pool and without the private pool access. So initially for 3 days, because we went from 6th of August to 17th of August, so we were there for 10 nights basically. So for the first 3 days we took the private pool villa, that is the normal beach villa, and then we have the water villa, which guys you have to experience, because if you don't stay in a water villa in Maldives, trust me, you are missing out on something. Okay, so we stayed in the water villa for the last 7 days, and tariff was almost the same for both the villas. Also we had got some special discount, so ideally so what we paid for the per night tariff was approximately $520, but actually the price on the rate card was somewhere around $700 for per room. I know it's expensive, but Maldives is anyways not a cheap place to stay at. However, there are resorts which can offer you stay within 10,000 as well, but in those kind of resorts you will usually not get this kind of access. So that is the accommodation. 3 days we stayed in the beach villa with the private pool, and then 7 nights we stayed in the water villa, and the per night was approximately $520. So into 10, that is $5,200. Now the good part is that food was inclusive in the room tariff. So the breakfast, the lunch and the dinner, it was all inclusive. Of course, for any kind of drinks and all or extra food you are ordering, you have to pay for that, or for the mini bar services you have to pay for that. But the main food was kind of inclusive in the room tariff itself, and they had a wide variety of cuisines, because people from all across the world were traveling. They had lot of people from the UAE, from Russia, from Europe basically, then from US as well, from India as well. So they had all kind of cuisines like the Indian cuisine, the Russian cuisine, the North American, South American, Italian, Mexican, all kind of cuisine. And the good part is that on 15th of August we happened to be there. They actually had organized a special Indian buffet for all the Indians over there. So that was like really amazing, and I got to eat golgappas and chaat, which was of course not as good as India wala. But yeah, that's just an experience I'm sharing with you. And for that we had to pay $40 per person. Okay, so that's the food part. Now the last part is about the activities, most important, because of course when you go to a place you want to do some activities and not just be inside the room. Although I did spend a lot of time working and sitting inside the room, I was kind of enjoying that. I am kind of a workaholic, I feel. I was just sitting by the by the pool or by the beach and just kind of enjoying the view and working on my laptop. I'm not too fond of going into the water, like I'm scared of water that way. So but for those who actually love water and who want to do the activities, they had a lot of bunch of activities. There's a center called diving center, which offers all these activities like snorkeling, scuba diving, fishing. Then you have many other sports like kayaking and jet skiing as well. That is all the water sports. Now apart from water sports, there are a lot of things happening within the resort itself, like spa was one of them, which I totally experienced twice. Then there was yoga, meditation, gym. Then there was cycling if you want to do that. They also had a buggy service throughout the entire day till 11 p.m. At night. So spa is something which I actually again ended up spending kind of like a lot of money. But so in the spa again they had like different kind of options. So the starting spa cost was $99, but there was this couple massage for $315. For the first experience, my husband and I, we took this couple spa massage for $315, and then after that, after 2 days from then, I again went for a spa massage for $147. But in that I also got a discount of 50 rupees because of some kind of room credit they had. आप नेट लगा लो कि मेरे को 147 minus $50 पे करना पड़ा for the solo massage. So that's something again which I spent money on. So yeah, that was the spa experience. It was actually good, and in the spa they had I think if I talk about the spa I can just go on and on, but in the spa they had two categories. One was the ocean spa and one was the nature spa. We went for the nature spa both the times, of course. So it was a great experience altogether. And the good part is, guys, that like I said earlier also, the staff was vaccinated. I can't even tell you the kind of precautions and the safety measures that these guys had taken in the spa itself. So I was kind of a bit apprehensive whether I should go for the spa or not at this time, but when I actually went for a pre-check before booking my appointment, I was kind of impressed, and that's when I took the call of taking the spa as well. So that's the entire experience of staying in Sun Siam Resorts at Auroville. Now the last part is the traveling back part. Now listen to this part very, very carefully. Before your departure date, there are a couple of things you have to keep in mind. Two things actually majorly. First is again a negative RT-PCR test report you have to get with yourself. Without that you will not be, of course, allowed to travel out of the resort as well. Second thing you need to have is for landing back to India, you have to fill the Air Suvidha form. At the Malé airport, while we were getting our check-in done, they did not let us do the check-in without having the Air Suvidha form filled up, and inside the airport there was kind of like a weak Wi-Fi. So I would suggest that before you depart from the resort, make sure your Air Suvidha form is done and your online checking of the seats in the air flight is done. So that's only how you can fill the Air Suvidha form as well. And of course, once you land back to India at the airport, I was again, guys, impressed with the fact that at the Bangalore airport there were so many checkpoints. I think 4 or 5 we had to cross, where they checked our temperature and our O2 level as well, and everywhere there was proper sanitizer kept, and it was a good experience. I would say, like, I didn't feel that people are kind of carefree with the COVID which is happening right now. Everybody was wearing masks and all. So yeah, that's how we came back to India. And yeah, so one thing I forgot to mention over here is the cost of the RT-PCR test from Maldives is that we had to pay $60 per person. Okay, so total we had to pay $120 for a couple for the RT-PCR negative test. And yeah, once we came back, we maintained some basic precautions. Even though it's not a mandate to quarantine yourself, we actually quarantined ourselves for a couple of days before we met our family members and other friends and all. So that's it about the Maldives experience, guys. If you liked this video, tell me in the comment section below. And I know I did end up kind of overspending on two parts majorly. One is, I think, on the accommodation. I don't exactly know if I would have got a cheaper accommodation or not, but within the resort there were some villas which was kind of like low priced, but they were booked, of course, in advance, so we could not take those ones. But anyways, I wanted to have the water villa experience experience, so we went for that. And yeah, if you guys want me to make more such videos in details around, you know, where I'm traveling, because I do want to travel to a lot of places which are kind of safe as well, and make videos for you guys, so that you guys watch these videos, get some inspiration, plan your budget, and, you know, take your family members as well. So it's all about working hard and playing harder and traveling faster as well. So I also plan to make a series on this particular topic on like travel finance. So let me know in the comment section below if you guys want me to make this kind of series for y'all. And thank you so much for staying till the end. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, and share this video with those people who want to travel to Maldives as well. Take care. Namaste. Bye bye.